Over the last century, the United States and Britain championed a particular way of organizing an economy, private capitalism, for lack of a better term. The Soviet Union for 70 years championed an alternative, state capitalism, where the state plays the role of owner, operator of the enterprise. The state owns it legally, and the state puts its people, officials, in the position, they're called the Council of Ministers, but it's in the position of boards of directors that are state officials. They're put there because the state owns the business. There is no stock market. You don't buy and sell shares in the Soviet Union because it's not how they do it. But it's capitalism because it's a small group of employers with an army of employees. Just like it's slavery when you have a master and a slave. No one gives a damn when they analyze slavery, whether that's a private corporation or a government that owns the slaves. It's slavery either way. And feudalism is the same. You could have a private lord with serfs and a governmental lord with serfs. It's feudalism. But here in the United States, when we have capitalism, we make a mountain out of the difference between the private and the state. The state we give another name to. We didn't give another name in slavery. We didn't give another name in feudalism. But in capitalism we give another name. It's socialism. Marx never wrote a book about the state. Marx wasn't interested in the state. Marx never advocated state. This is silly. It has nothing to do with Marx. I mean, read it. You'll see it in 10 minutes. Marx is interested in the relationship of production. Marx's argument is a small group of people making all the decisions, that's the problem. That's what we've got to change. We've got to, this will come as a shock, democratize the enterprise. The enterprise should be a collective, a community. A community, like in communism, that. And we all get together and we have a conversation and a debate. And we decide as a community what to produce, how to produce, where to produce, and what to do with the product. In a modern society, it's called a worker co-op. It already exists. Workers have figured this out. That's Marx's argument, right? It's not about state capitalism. But back to my story. The United States and Britain is private capitalism. The Soviet Union is state capitalism. And what can we say about that? That was the 20th century's struggle. US versus USSR, Cold War, the clash of these two, which would be properly called private capitalism, state capitalism. Private capitalism was more successful in spreading around the world, no question. Soviet state capitalism was more successful in the rate of growth. In 1917, when Russia makes its revolution, it's the most backward country in Europe. Poor beyond words. 4% of the people literate. 70 years later, it's the challenger of the United States. Amazing what they achieved through 2 world wars, fought on their soil, and a civil war, and a revolution. Now we come to China in the 21st century. It's a hybrid. It's not private. It's not state. It carefully combines the two. If you look at the Chinese economy, it's roughly half state enterprises, half private. Private capitalist enterprises, owned and operated by private Chinese citizens and or foreigners, because they allow the foreigners to come in. That's the most rapid economic growth the world has ever seen. In 30 years, they are now the challenger. What I just told you is very simple and very clear, and you never heard it before. What is that about? You're an interested, intelligent person who pays attention. You never heard it. Why did you not hear it? I'm putting together what everybody who looks at this can find out in a half a day's worth of reading. That's it. This is not rocket science. And yet it must be squelched. It cannot be thought. It's remarkable to me. I'm a product of American education. I never went to school anywhere else. From kindergarten through the university, I'm trained here. If I can figure it out, given the way I've been educated, so can everybody else here. What is the problem? The problem is ideological. The system is on the decline, and it is girding its loins and building its structures to survive. It's really what it's doing. But it isn't doing it very well.